Hey, what's up, y'all? In this video, I'm gonna go ahead and, since I got my swords out, I thought I would, I'm getting ready to go to bed and whatnot. I thought I would go ahead and present my another sword that I've had for probably about a good 2 years, which is the Darksword Armory Black Prince longsword. I don't think I don't think there are too many reviews on YouTube, about this sword. And personally, personally, I like this sword. But there are definitely some setbacks about it that I'm gonna go over. So just give me a second. I'll unsheath it for y'all. Now, thing that I particularly now I do like this sword because back in my former city, I used to own, I own one Dark Sword Armory sword back in Memphis, and this is the only one that I currently own from Dark Sword Armory. And that also was a long sword. It was a the Templar sword. Now it was supposedly a long sword, but it was, the grip on it was so short. It was almost like a hand and a half, because it would take up so much space when I would hold it in two hands, and it was absurdly heavy, which I guess makes sense. If you're riding on horseback and you got you got to chop at like horses' legs and armored enemies. But this is what, to me, it's an ideal fencing sword, because it's almost the closest thing to what the Germans would call, a feather sword or Federschwert, because it's very light, and I like light because you can actually fence with this thing, and I mean move fairly quickly, and I find it pretty impressive for you know with my Anglo-Saxon ass, with this being an English sword, to commemorate the Black Prince. I believe it was Edward III, I believe, or fourth. You know, my memory escapes. My English history escapes me, which shame on me, because I am part Anglo-Saxon. Despite this coat of melanin, which I don't consider a minus as much as a plus, but I'm just pointing out the fact that I do have English German ancestry, which probably is the reason why I got something like this. Along amongst the litany of other swords, most of which are Asian, but this is something to go back to my partial European roots, as far as my affinity for European swords, and hopefully in the future I'll be getting some more swords. I wouldn't recommend Dark Sword Army as much, because this sword cost me about a good $500, and even though you know it's sharp, I wouldn't consider it razor sharp. And it was part of my project to buy some tools to see about sharpening the blade myself. But I'll see where that goes. Because I mean, I was intent on doing that, but I just guess you'd say I lost interest. But I have cut things with this. But can I say again, just like with the gin, can I say that this will cut as efficiently as my katanas? No. And it's not to say that European swords can't cut as efficiently as katanas. In fact, as a kenjutsu aficionado, I have to say that this just might be the katana's match, or the katana's superior, unfortunately, because the fact that it's double edged, whereas a katana is single edged, you're working from two angles. Like if you were wielding a katana against someone carrying this thing, and unbeknownst to what that bullshit fighting scenes that we see off of Game of Thrones and all these other goofy ass movies like Braveheart, these things move fast. I know how to, and I say that because I know how to use these. I know how to swing them. I know how to move them. I know the angles, particularly that of the German style. the German styles of fencing versus and then more or less extent I use like Italian as a backup plan, but it's not Italian fencing. Italian longsword really isn't my forte. It has its purpose like in close quarters, where you can almost do like a Belinta walk style for all my Filipino stylists out there. There's techniques where that are very similar to that of Belinta walk, where if the guy gets too close, you can grab his hilt and basically side swipe him like with a side slash, single-handedly, and just thrust him, kind of similar to what you would find in Belinta walk, whereas you don't really see a whole lot of that in Deutsches Fechten, if you will, in German fencing, in German style longsword or Langschwert. You just see them going at it. I mean, German style definitely has its close quarter techniques. It's also called like Dorfwechseln, which means changing through. And those techniques tend to be where the guy gets too close. You either most likely you pummel him in the face, like if he gets too close, and you can see a pummel as thick as that. He'll definitely feel it. But for future reference, I don't think if I do get any more Darksword Armory swords, I'm pretty sure I'm not just gonna get a lot, because as beautiful as they are, they're what I like to call butter knife sharp. Now, like I said, no doubt this thing can cause lacerations, but can it cause nearly as much damage that we would find with these cast Hanwei katanas that I probably own? I probably own 6 of, since I've been out here, because back in Memphis I probably had 9 of them. And can they cut as efficiently as them? I seriously doubt it. I'm pretty sure it can stab as efficiently as my katanas, but I seriously doubt that, at the current state, that if I took a swipe at someone, it's gonna, no doubt it'll lacerate them, but it won't cause nearly as much damage that, my katanas would, or my Filipino machetes would, which, with that, it's a done deal. I swing something like that and it connects, with my katanas or my Filipino machetes, it's a wrap. But that's my opinion. To advertise or to help advertise Darksword Armory's black print sword, seeing as I don't see much, too many videos concerning it, if any at all, that if you do get this, you may want to, and you're looking for a quality sharp sword, you're going to find yourself doing your own handiwork as far as, and that's with the sharpen option. That's with the sharpen option, because they give you an option. Do you want it sharpened or unsharpened on Darksword Armory's website? And I asked for sharpen, and this is what I got. So you can imagine I'm a little jaded about it. Low key, I'm a little jaded about the fact that it's not nearly as sharp as, say, one of my katanas, even though it's almost as light for its size, and for it being a longsword. It's much lighter, it's much maneuverable than the Templar sword that I own. And with that Templar sword, I bought it from I know I'm rambling, but I actually bought that from Cult of Athena, and they had their own sharpening option, and I really didn't. It could cut, but it was like a combination of its weight and the edge that they put on it that would cause it to cut. I didn't approve of the edge that they put on it. It was, to me, it just looked janky, and it was just a poor sign of craftsmanship, if you ask me. For them to sharpen it like that, and just relying on its weight and what little edge that they managed to put on it, that it would cut as efficiently as it did. So I think I'll just leave it at that. Again, catch y'all in the next video. Hopefully, when I feel like it, I'll present some more knives, machetes, swords, things of that nature. And I haven't stopped And like I said, I promised y'all that I was gonna show y'all that Shiva knife from Himalayan Imports. I'm obliged to do so. So just be on the lookout for that because it's coming. Hopefully that and a couple Qatar knives from Himalayan Imports. So catch y'all in the next video. I'm out.